So do you have a Kubernetes cluster running on the IBM cloud that has an outdated operating system? I do. So we're going to get that corrected in this video. So let's get started. So as you can see on my screen here, I've got this Kubernetes cluster that is running operating system Ubuntu 20, which has been deprecated, and I'm running also my Kubernetes version of 1.30. We're going to go about upgrading both the version, but also first we're going to update the operating system so that we actually have a supported operating system for this Kubernetes cluster. Let's get that corrected first. So what we're going to do first is we'll just jump over to our worker pools. And as you can see here, we've got our worker pool. It's throwing the message up here that we've got an unsupported version of Ubuntu 20, right? And the cluster's still working fine. Everything's good. I mean, we can go into the dashboard here, see our Kubernetes cluster up and running. We'll just go over to all namespaces, show some stuff. So all the pods, everything's running, everything's healthy. It's just an unsupported version of the operating system. So let's get that fixed up. We'll jump back over to the worker pools again. This is just running 2 workers of size 4x16. So it's a small cluster. It's really just for this demo to show what we need to do to get your Kubernetes version updated. I don't have any workloads running, but in a scenario where you might have workloads, because you're going to have to take a worker node offline or have it rebuilt and replaced, your application would then need to, you'll need to make certain that there's enough capacity running within your cluster to support your application when you do lose a node, right? So there's one scenario that we could go in this worker pool and we could do a resize. With the resize, we could scale it up to 3 worker nodes. As we are replacing one of the worker nodes, we're still keeping that consistent 2 worker node availability. In my scenario, I don't need to do that because I don't have any applications running, but in a scenario where you do have an application running, just make sure you have enough capacity within your cluster to support the application to keep running without any interruption. So what we're going to do here is we can go into the menu here. Instead of a resize, we're just going to go into update OS. And what this is going to do is it's just going to set the worker pool OS to become 24. It's actually not going to go and do any work right now. It's not going to do anything to my worker nodes. This is just saying that, hey, in the future, any new workers that I bring into this pool, they'll be running a newer version of an operating system, or the workers that I replace, they will get replaced with a new operating system. So I'm going to select Ubuntu 24, and we're going to update that. So now that worker pool is set to be Ubuntu 24. However, if we go back over to our worker nodes and select our worker node, this worker node's still running Ubuntu 20, right? So this is the one that we'll need to update, as well as this one. And again, what happens is what we'll do is we'll select this, and then we can select update here, and that's going to go and update the operating system of that worker node, because it's going to replace that worker node with a new one. It's actually not upgrading a version because we're actually running the same version that it's saying it wants to upgrade to. We could easily just also do a replace. So if I did replace, it's just going to go and rebuild that same worker, but it's going to install with a new operating system. And as you can see here, the node, it might give a new IP address for the worker because it is replacing that worker. So we're going to go ahead and just do it this way, right? So let's do replace. And what that's going to do is it's going to start working on that worker node and replacing it with a new worker node with an updated operating system. So I'm going to pause right now and we'll just check back in a little bit. Okay, so I just wanted to pop in real quick and show this is where it's showing it's deleting this worker node, and then it's going to go ahead and start provisioning another one. So as that progresses, we will check back in. Okay, so now it's just been a couple of minutes, maybe even less than a minute. So it's starting to do some provisioning now. So while that's provisioning, I just did want to also note that within the documentation, we do have the availability to do this same process through command line or even within the Cloud Shell, interacting with the IBM Cloud Portal. You can use the Cloud Shell to go in and update any of the worker pools in the operating system for your instances as well. I'll put this link into the description of this video as well. So we'll just jump back over and let's just wait for the provisioning of this new cluster or this new worker node as well. Okay, so now we've got this new worker node that's been replaced, though however, the operating system is still Ubuntu 20. So what we may need to do is go ahead and do the update and not just a replace. So a replace is just going to put back the same version that was there. So let's go ahead and select that one, and we're going to go into update, and then we are going to select update here. And it's going to go through kind of the same process, and hopefully we'll get that Ubuntu 24 loaded up this time. So we'll check back in a minute. Okay, so it looks like it is provisioning a new worker node now. We can double check, and yes, it is updating to the Ubuntu 24 for this worker node. So we'll let this go off and provision. It just takes a couple more minutes, and then it should be complete, and then we can move on to updating the second worker as well. So we'll check back then. Okay, looks like that worker node has been upgraded and replaced. So we've got a new worker node with Ubuntu 24. However, we still have the other worker node that's still running Ubuntu 20. So let's get that one straightened out. So we're going to go ahead and select that one, and we're going to select update. It's giving us our kind of a warning and just things that are going to happen during the process, that it's actually going to take it offline and put a new one up. One thing to note also is if you had any software-defined storage configured on your cluster, you would need to make certain that you take the protective caution around that as well. I do not have any software-defined storage. I don't have applications running on this cluster, so we're not really worried about losing that node or having that node, removed from the cluster and then a new one coming in. So we're just going to go ahead and click update on that. And this is going to progress and bring in a second worker node with the Ubuntu 24, so that we're back into having a Kubernetes cluster that is within support, because we are out of support right now. This is a deprecated operating system when running Kubernetes 1.30. So we're getting that corrected, and it's just going through the process right now. So we'll see this soon to go into deleting process, and then provisioning a new one and updating it. So we're going to pause right now and wait for that to come back up. Okay, so there you have it. We've got two worker nodes that have both been upgraded to Ubuntu 24. This cluster is now fully supported. We can jump back over to the overview, showing everything's healthy. We do have a little warning in the ingress. We can take a look at that a little bit later. But we do have the deprecation warning that is removed. So now we are running on the proper operating system that's on our worker nodes. That's all we needed to do for this cluster. We will look into maybe doing another follow-up for upgrading the actual version of the Kubernetes system itself. We are running 1.30 right now, and that soon will probably go out of support as well. So we need to get that upgraded. We'll go through the process of that in a future video. Thanks for watching.